So what is the deal, HBCU fam? It's your boy, the HBCU OG Mark Gray. Welcome to the HBCU Sports Nation. As we look back on week number 6, HBCU football saw overtime thrillers, great games, but there were also malicious acts of social deviance leading to the cancellation of homecoming at my alma mater, Morgan State, and the end to the homecoming celebrations at Bowie State. So it was a tough time for those of us in the DMV. Nonetheless, let's take a look at what went on around the HBCU Sports Nation last week. A quick look at the scoreboard reveals that number 16, Florida A&M and Southern had a doozy down there in Baton Rouge, with the Rattlers doing it again to the Jaguars. Prairie View, a 31-12 winner over Mississippi Valley State. And let's be real, folks. Again, if you're not going to fund the program down there in Itta Bena, then, stop putting those kids in harm's way. It was Central Connecticut State, a 51-44 winner over Lee Hall's Delaware State team, and give credit where credit is due. At least the offense is coming around. If they can put a complete game together, Delaware State could be dangerous. South Carolina State put a good old-fashioned money grab beat down on Virginia Lynchburg, and you know about my feelings towards some place called Lynchburg. Number 11, North Carolina Central, a 34-23 winner over Elon. Going to have some highlights from that one a little bit later on in the show. Campbell knocked off Hampton by 3. It was Alabama State, a 19-14 winner over Bethune-Cookman. Give props to Howard University, going up to Northwestern and putting a 20 spot up after the intermission, but it wasn't enough as the Wildcats hold on for a victory. Tennessee State won by a touchdown at Kennesaw State. It was Villanova 37, North Carolina A&T 14. Show me the money, I would assume. Alcorn State knocks off Grambling in a thriller by 125-24. That's your HBCU scoreboard for this week. All right, we know what you came here for. You want highlights? I got highlights. Let's check them out from around the key games in the HBCU Sports Nation last week. First, we talked about it earlier. Number 16, Florida A&M won their 11th straight SWAC game with a white knuckle win over Southern in Baton Rouge after quarterback Jeremy Musa connected with Jamari Gassett for a 12-yard touchdown. Musa, 325 yards and 2 touchdowns. He went 5 for 5 passing for 65 yards on the final drive, and FAMU scored the final 10 points in the fourth quarter to beat the Jaguars in Baton Rouge 26-19. Alcorn State won a thriller at Grambling State. Quarterback Aaron Allen found Tavarius Griffin for a 15-yard score and the go-ahead touchdown late in the fourth quarter. Grambling State had 2 more possessions after that, both drives ending with interceptions from Miles Crawley. Braves win it 25-24. Jason Brown threw 2 of his 3 touchdown passes in the first half as Jackson State jumped out early and beat Alabama A&M 45-30. Tigers scored on touchdowns on their first 3 possessions and led 35-7 at the half. Brown finished 14-26 passing for 202 yards. That kid, Irv Mulligan, I'm telling you, he looks like SWAC Player of the Year to me. 115 yards rushing on 23 carries. Xavier Langford completed 21 of 36 passes and 2 touchdowns. Jackson State wins again. And number 11, North Carolina Central looks like a top 10 team in the FCS. Think about it. They defeated a top 5 William & Mary team last week, and they beat Elon this week. Davius Richard completes 60% of his passes and accounts for 285 total yards and 4 touchdowns in the win. Richard also ran for 3 scores as Central rolls 34-23 over the Phoenix. We'll keep it down there somewhere near Tidewater, where Hajj Malik Williams threw 2 touchdown passes to Azariah Campbell, and they held off Hampton 30-27. Elijah Burris, the CAA's leading rusher, however, scored on a 45-yard touchdown run to open the scoring for Hampton. Burris finished with 15 carries and 113 yards. Duran Butts added 124 yards and a touchdown, but it wasn't enough as the Pirates fall. And Howard did score 20 points in the second half, but the Bison couldn't complete the comeback against the Big Ten's Northwestern. However, you got to give major props to Eden James, 177 yards and a touchdown on 21 carries. He comes from Hall of Fame stock. Hey, that kid is a bad man. I don't want to stress Coach Larry Scott at Howard out, but can you say transfer portal? Better watch that kid. Anyway, those are your highlights from last week. HBCU! You know, the heart still aches after senseless tragedies that continue to assault the HBCU communities here in the DMV. Homecoming celebrations were canceled at Morgan and suspended at Bowie because of a bunch of social deviant haters continuing their malignant behavior of impacting campus social events that are putting a cloud over black colleges around the country. You know, in a time where HBCUs are expanding and creating comfort zones for black excellence, there's no longer a safe place to embrace the place where in many cases lives were changed forever. If you feel the need to strap up before going onto the yard, please stay at home. I mean, really, there's no saving your soul because you're a pathetic loser. And there's no redeeming quality to your life. HBCUs have become havens for black college students to have hope. And homecoming is like the annual family reunion. But these days, this new group of felonious insurgents are in the process of ruining this vital part of our culture. And who would have ever thought that homecoming could lead to a premature homegoing? So in the words of Spike Lee from School Days, everybody wake up. And that's going to do it for this trip around the HBCU Sports Nation. It's your boy Mark Gray. Click the link, farm it out, and tell a friend. And as always, I look forward to seeing you around the HBCU Sports Nation. Black Island Blues. Bye, bye.